You are all here for one reason and one reason only, maybe a couple reasons, and that is to have a new year and a new you. But I'm not talking about in your waistline or fitting into that dress or that suit. Although making a little bit of money might can help you with that if you get a personal trainer and on a meal plan. But we're talking about new year, new you with respect to your finances, your money, your investments, how you look at making money, how money makes you, how you work for it, how hard it works for you, if it works for you at all. So we're gonna have some fun tonight. And depending on when you're watching, if you're watching live or the replay, and I'm also going to ask for some of your help as well. This is live and interactive. So this is not pre recorded unless you're watching the replay. But I like to interact with you live. That's the whole point of live. So I may ask some questions, just participate, give me some feedback. The more energy you give me, the more energy I give you. So put a comment in the box. If you're with me, type yes, I'm with you. Just type yes. Some people can't type that fast. If you're with me, type yes. I want all the energy tonight, today. It's MLK Day too. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Love it. Love it. Love all the floods of yeses coming in. All right. Perfect. All right. So here's the roadmap for the next 4 days. So day one, which is today, we're going to talk about personal and financial goals. I'm going to share a little bit of my story, just in case you're like, who is this guy? Or you kind of found me through YouTube, Facebook, or some random email that we sent. Welcome, you're in the right place. Day two, we're going to be talking about finding quality stocks to invest in for financial success. A lot of people get tripped up here. A lot of people are like, where do I start? What do I do? I don't even know where to start as a beginner. And so that's why I'm live streaming this everywhere so that all the people who say, I just don't know where to start. Hopefully, by the end of this, you will have a clear place to start. Day three, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 year millionaire roadmap and how to use stocks and options to get there. And then day four, I'm going to share with you what's something I've coined the third grade investment theory. Very powerful. So make sure you join that, as well as we're going to be doing live Q&A. So anything that you either just didn't get answered in day one, two, three, bring it to day four, third grade investment theory, as well as live Q&A, and we're gonna break it all down for you. So typically when people see stuff like this, like I'm gonna teach you the 5 year millionaire theory or how to make your first $1 million. And for some people, that just goes way over their head. They're like, I don't even have a trading account, an investment account. And then life has taught us that we shouldn't say things like that. I want to be a millionaire. I want to make 1 million in 5 years, or I want to drive this car, live in that house. In fact, when we make those statements, most of the times people look at us like we're crazy. In fact, I'll tell you a story that I never forgot this story. I remember I was working at Best Buy, and I'll never forget there was a young man who on our lunch break, he was like, where you going? I was like, you know what? I'm finna run over here to Barnes and Noble and grab this book, Think and Grow Rich. Then I was gonna get Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I never forget, he was like, they were about to go like to Panera Bread or something to get lunch, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know. And I'll never forget, he looked at me and he said, well, he said the N word. He was like, what you trying to be rich? And I'll never forget that moment that I stopped and I paused. And I don't know if you've ever had a moment like this in your life, but in that moment, I almost said, man, no, I ain't trying to be rich, man. Let's go to lunch. Like I almost said that if I'm gonna be totally honest and totally real with you tonight. It was a split second of just conform. Yeah, he right. Who am I kidding? We work at Best Buy. Like, what am I doing trying to read books and trying to get rich? And I never forgot that moment, but I didn't say that. I said, yeah, I am. And he was like, all right, whatever. We'll catch up with you later. But that moment stuck with me forever because that was the moment that I realized that in life, people will call you crazy for going after your dreams. People will make you feel stupid. People will make you feel like not for you, not for people like us. And in those moments, we have these, I think at church they call that like these kairos moments we have these moments that kind of define us where we're like, are we going to stand on business and say, yeah, I'm taking my life in a new direction. This is where I'm going. And I know some people go call me crazy. I know some people go look at me like, yeah, right. But I can tell you standing here today without any doubt, every one of those people, and they're well-meaning, good intended people, oftentimes people reflect what's going on in their life. They don't believe they can do it. They don't believe they'll ever make it. Sometimes they project that onto you. So that doesn't mean they're bad people. That doesn't mean go home and write off your mama or your auntie or your your best friend. But I can tell you without a doubt that almost every one of those people who said something like that or unintentionally made me feel like maybe I shouldn't be going after wealth or trying to be rich, to this day, they say things like, "I knew if anybody was gonna make it, it was gonna be you." And I'm like, "Really?" Because I didn't get that impression back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But they like, "I knew if somebody was gonna do it, it was you." So they'll become your cheerleaders, but you will have these moments. You probably told somebody today, "I'm gonna join this like stock market challenge over the next 4 days." And they said, You don't even like math or you don't even know how to count, whatever." There's those moments where we have to flip the script and embrace what I like to call crazy. If you've ever been to one of my seminars, I like to say, you got to be crazy to be black, broke, live in a neighborhood with bars on the window, and somehow think I'm going to become a millionaire. And I don't play basketball and I don't rap or sing. So you have to be a little bit crazy. So I don't know what your situation is on here tonight, where you coming from. You might be broke, you might be in debt, you may have never bought a stock in your life. Maybe you're trading stocks and you're like, I'm down $10,000. This stuff is not working out so well for me. You have to be a little bit crazy to keep going or to even get started. But I promise you, the reward is worth it on the other end. It's not Black History Month, but it is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. So I got a little bit of Black history coming in here. No, but for real, with this one, here's the thing. No one really knows if Harriet Tubman said this, but I think the quote, that's why I put unknown, but some people credit Harriet Tubman. Some said she never said it. Here's the thing. If she did say it or whoever made it up, it still makes sense to me. She says, I freed thousands of slaves and I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. I'm going to read that again. I freed thousands of slaves and I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Now you might be thinking, Jason Brown, what in the HE double hockey stick does that have to do with me? This is what it has to do with you. This is the new slavery. See, this isn't about owning people or property. This is about the new slavery is credit card debts that's keeping you chained down. It's mortgage debt. It's student loan debt. It's I bought a too expensive car that I can't afford, but I want to look cool debt. This is the new slavery. And sometimes I feel like Harriet Tubman or whoever made that quote, sometimes I feel like, wow, I freed myself. I took care of my mother, my family. I've helped a lot of people in our community make money. And I'm like, I probably would have freed more people if only they knew they were slaves. And that quote really resonates with me because we think we are free. But the majority of what we get up and do every single day, we actually only do it because we owe somebody else. The job you work, the place you live in, majority of what we do every day for a good 8 hours a day, we do because we are enslaved to someone else. Now, don't get it twisted. Owning a house is not a bad thing. If you got to take out student loans to go to school, none of that in itself is a bad thing. What we're talking about, though, is understanding and recognizing that that is a system. That is a system to design to keep you paying somebody else. Don't believe me? Pull out a mortgage calculator. In fact, we'll do it together. Let's just have a little fun here. Let's just start with everybody's what America sells you as the American dream. I think they said the starting home price now is like either a quarter million or 300,000. We'll just do quarter million. I don't want to blow it out. So I don't want to accentuate anything. So let's just say, even with a 10% down payment, You're gonna put 10% down. Okay, congratulations. You found a way to get a good $25,000, right? Interest rate 5.98. Let's just say 6%. I think that's fair. That's about the going rate of a house right now. So I want you to look at this and then boom, we calculated it. All right. And so if you look over here, not over there. Where is it at? Where is it at? Let me go back. I think I did it the wrong way. I didn't do it the wrong way, but I think when I hit calculate, here we go. By the time you pay this house off, I mean, look at these numbers, guys. It's almost ridiculous, crazy over here. Look at this. By the time you will have paid this house off, because most people pay it off in 30 years, right? By the time you have property tax, PMI, insurance, all this stuff. I don't know if you got an HOA or not. We're just going to leave that off. By the time you pay it off, you will have paid $369,000 in interest on a $250,000 house that you already put 10% down on. I'm going to say it again. After 30 years, this is a 30-year mortgage, okay? By the time you pay it off, you will have paid $369,000 in interest on a $250,000 house. For those who can't do math, let me explain it to you. 369 plus 250 is something like 600 and I don't know, $20,000 you would have paid for that house. I'm just curious, by a show of hands or a show of how many people have ever done that and understand that if you pay a house over 30 years, you actually pay double or more for it. If that was new to you, type new. If you knew that before, type I knew. I am just curious because we enlightening some people tonight. All right, we go get into the stock market stuff, but we got to get our mindset right, and we got to understand. So if you knew that, type yes. If you didn't, if that was new to you, type the word new. I'm just curious. There's no shame here. There's no embarrassment here. We are gonna figure it out. All right. Yes, I knew. I knew. Yes, I knew. A lot of people saying they knew that. Okay. All right. They knew that. Bunch of yeses is coming through. Awesome. Yeah. Someone says you taught this at your last seminar. Well, I know some people on here are new though. So some of this may be review. But the reality is you pay double for that. But here's the thing. We sign up for this all the time though. We sign up for this hand over foot, rushing into a house. And then society, the world has the nerve to tell you what? It is your greatest investment. It is the American dream. How is my greatest investment something that I can pay double for over 30 years? And so you got to ask yourself when they say it's the American dream, for who? It's the American dream for the banks so that they can make interest. It's the American dream for the government so you can pay property taxes for the rest of your life. Okay. But typically, it is not the American dream. The American dream is getting financially free. And so, what I'm here to tell you is that making money in the stock market, investing, personal finance, it is not a black thing. It is not a white thing. It is not a Asian, Indian, African American thing. It is a green thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is a green thing. And we have to figure out how to do something that our parents said could never happen. And what was that? What did our parents say could never happen? Come on, y'all know what it is. Every time you wanted something from the store, they said, what? What you think? Money grow on trees? It don't grow on trees. Right. So we got to figure out how to make money grow on trees, ladies and gentlemen. We got to figure out how to make money grow on trees. Now, here's the funny thing about that. If your parents are anything like my mom, she like money don't grow on trees. But last time I checked, this money was made out of what? Paper, maybe green paper, but nevertheless is made out of paper. Now, last time I checked, paper came from trees. So technically, mom, money trees, all right? And so Really, I'm having a little bit of fun here, but the point is we gonna have to break some of that old mindset. We gonna have to break some of that stinking thinking if we are gonna be successful in this industry. When I think about today being MLK Day, Martin Luther King's day, what I really think about, or what I'm really trying to share with you, whether you're watching this live, watching the replay, watching this in the future, guys, we got to start dreaming again. We got to start dreaming again. The man is famous for saying, I have a what? A dream. He didn't say he's famous for having, I have a house. I have credit card debt. He said, I have a dream. He is famous for having a dream. But guess what? Most of us, we were taught to stop dreaming probably around 5 years old, 6 years old. Here's how it works. They don't explicitly say, don't have a dream. Here's what they say: go sit down in that chair and shut up and listen. Now, I don't think they do this on purpose, but that's where it starts. And then they say, what do you want to be, Johnny? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a lawyer? Do you want to be an engineer? Now, it's been a long time since I've been in kindergarten or first grade, but very rarely do they walk around and say, how many of you want to be the president of the United States? How many of you want to be a stock trader or an investor? Now, we need teachers, we need lawyers, we need doctors. I'm not knocking those professions, but psychologically, we already start limiting our kids from a young age because it's almost like saying, here's the professions for you. And then when the kid goes, what? I want to go to the NBA. They go, or I want to, what? They go, do you know how many kids actually make it one of one? They start beating you down early. They start getting you to conform on that dream. They start to get you early to start thinking about that dream. And so my job here today is to bring dreaming back. It's to say dreams are alive and well. And I don't even care if we ever get there. I just want you to know they alive and they well. And as my cousin Ron Glenn would say, you gotta have a dream if you want a dream to come true. How you go? You can't even have it come true if you don't have a dream. So you got to have a dream if you want a dream come true, ladies and gentlemen. So everything I'm going to share with you is based on my best-selling book, 5 Year Millionaire. I never really thought I'd be an author writing about my life, writing about making millions of dollars. By the way, I've made millions, I've lost millions. I am not special, but never did I thought I'd be writing books and talking about it, and then going all over the world, being on Fox News, being on Yahoo Finance, being at the New York Stock Exchange on the Schwab Network, California Live, Good Day with D, Fox 2 Detroit, you name it. If you've been following my journey, been all over. It's been a ton of fun. I still do regular segments with Schwab and Fox 2 and other requirements. But let's go back. Can we go back? So let's go back because this is 18-year-old Jason Brown. And here's what I can tell you. I want you to see yourself in me because I don't know what your life looks like right now, but I could tell you there was, I won't say there was nothing. When I look back, I'm like, everything about me said I was going to be a winner. My attitude, my confidence. But by society standard, I will say there was nothing about me that said one day this dude to be writing a book, traveling the world, talking about the stock market, living his dream life. All right, this was 18-year-old Jason Brown. If you can't see that logo on the shirt, Sprint PCS, baby, making $8 an hour. I'm that guy when you came into Best Buy or Circuit City. It's like, who's your cell phone provider? I was trying to, get you to buy a cell phone from me at the Sprint PCS store. And I was making that $8 an hour. And I'm telling you, I hated working weekends because I had worked weekends ever since I was like 14, 15. As soon as you can get a job, I got a job. I was working at McDonald's. I was working at Mervin's of California, if anybody remember Mervin's of California. And then I graduated to Sprint PCS and Best Buy and worked at some of those stores. And I was making a whopping $8 an hour. But I had to sacrifice all my Friday nights, pretty much all day Saturday, because stores didn't open to 10 and you worked about 7 or 8 with a 1 hour lunch break. It was pretty much the whole Saturday, and then worked Sunday, and then worked every holiday, and I hated it. I hated it, right? And so my number one goal was just to make $50 so that I didn't have to work on the weekends. $8 an hour, it's an 8-hour shift, 64 bucks. We take taxes out. I took home 50 bucks. So I'm bringing this up because this is where my goals first started. I did not wake up and say, I want to be a millionaire. That is not what I said. Although you should have that dream if you want the dream to come true. I woke up and said, if I could just make 50 bucks. I share that with you because some of you, your goal right now is just like, if I could make $100 from the stock market, that would be great. And then someone's like, what's $100 going to do for me? Or they might think your goal is silly. What I can tell you about making that, wanting to make 50 bucks is when I made my first 50 bucks. Actually, I made my first 100. I made twice as much. I realized the more money I had, the more I can make. And if I did it more times, eventually that 100 would be 1,000. That 1,000 would be 100,000. That 100,000 would be 1,000,000. And that's why goals are important, no matter how big or how small they are. When you're getting started, it's not about the amount. It's about going to the gym. It's about going to the gym. When you go to the gym, what is the goal when you first go to the gym? It's not to get on the bench and be like, see if I could throw up 200 pounds. First goal when you get in the gym, it's like, let me see your form. Let's make sure we're doing the right form. Just show up at the gym. That'd be like goal number one, right? You'd be like, did you even show up? They'd be like, you already won. You here. You can just walk around, look at everybody and leave. You did more than most people. Goal number one is just show up at the gym. Then when you test out a machine, first time you get on it, you're like, I never really used this before. And then somebody might show you how to use it, but they don't put the max weight on it. They like, look, first do your form right. Because if you start lifting this thing wrong, you go build the wrong type of muscle. So your goals are important, even if they're small, because the first goal you should have is really to learn, to understand, to work on your form, which is one of the hardest thing to do in this industry. We all ready to jump in the Ferrari. We all ready to quit our job yesterday and go tell our boss what we really think about him. That is not your first goal. That can be one of your dreams. It can be one of your dreams, but that's not your first goal. Your first goal is just like, how does this work? How do I do this without getting hurt? That is your first goal. My first goal, just make 50 bucks. It was not to quit my job. I said, if I could take one Saturday off a month, I'd be living the dream. I could go to a barbecue before they eat all the food, right? So goals are important no matter how big or how small they are. Second thing is when you look at your situation, and this is mindset, folks, we got to get our mind right because if we don't get our mind right, when I start talking about the stocks to buy, sell, none of that's going to make sense if this right here between your two ears isn't right, your mind. And so when I look back at the young Jason Brown here, I gotta point a couple things out because some of y'all come from privilege. Y'all might not see it, but where I'm from, them legit bars, we had to keep people out of our house. Like they was coming for the TV. We didn't even have nothing. I'm still mind blown that somebody broke in our house when we were like super little and then we got the bars on the house because I'm like, we don't even have anything. So, but that's a whole nother psychological and socio-economic issue. We stealing from each other and we ain't even got nothing. So they came in and took our TV and I don't know, maybe I don't even know what else. I just remember the TV was gone. And next thing you know, we got bars on our window. I'm like, come on, man. We ain't even got nothing. Y'all taking the little bit we have. So anyway, bars on the window. If anybody remember back in the day, we had a scanner. That's when you would scan pictures. That's how old this is. All right. And look at my screensaver. I don't know if you could tell. My screensaver had like rims on it because I would like take a picture of cars and be like, one day I'll have a car with some rims on it. And I just always like cars and, hey, this is my thing. But what I hated was this house. I didn't hate the house. I mean, I love my mother, our family, but I hated being caged up like animals. Another funny story. I don't think I've ever told this story before. I remember I was dating a girl from Canada, and the girl from Canada came down to see me. She was like, I had to stop at the bathroom. Then I went in and I decided I was just gonna hold it till I got all the way down here. I'm like, why did you hold it till you got down here? And I I don't know, this kind of breaks my heart when I think back on it. She said, well, when I went in there, they had bulletproof glass. And I figure if they on that side of the glass, then who am I on this side with? And I was just like, I was like, good point. 'Cause to me, that was normal. I'm like, they all got bulletproof glass. People crazy around here. But I never stopped to think, why do I accept that? Why do I accept being in the neighborhood, in the stores that have bulletproof glass? Funny story, my Detroit people appreciate this because I live like right off 7 Mile. Ever since that happened, the banks in Detroit always had like the metal vault you had to walk through one person at a time. Then you talking to the teller. I said, I did what I could. I remember I doing what I could. I remember I would drive all the way to 14 Mile and John R. Anybody from Detroit, y'all know that area, right by Oakland Mall. There was a Chase Bank right across from Oakland Mall. That was the closest, furthest bank that did not have bulletproof glass. Even though there was one like half a mile right up the street from me, I remember starting to make decisions early that like, why am I settling for this? Why am I settling for being treated like an animal? And so I remember driving up to 14 Mile to go to the bank when it was one right there on 8 Mile. Oh man, I get emotional even thinking about that. Like, cause we just accepted some crazy stuff. I mean, we had to. It's just where we live, right? So what I'm trying to say is you gotta get tired. I got tired of being treated like that. I got tired of working weekends for Sprint. I got tired of doing business at all the places that got bulletproof glass. Like, why are we out here with the animals? And I get it. They gotta protect themselves. People crazy in certain neighborhoods. So I understand it. But if you taking notes, just because you understand it, don't mean you have to accept it. So if you taking notes, I think that's one for your books. Just because you understand it doesn't mean you have to accept it. So I was like, I'm driving all the way across to 14 Mile to go bank. All right. So I was dating another girl. I don't know why my story started with dating a girl. Ladies, y'all got the power to transform a man, I guess. So I was dating another girl and she lived in Canton. And I remember taking my 1985 Cutlass, paid $2,500 for that bad boy. And I drove out to Canton. I drove to her house. I don't know what first time out to her house. And that was the first time I saw a house that didn't have bars on the window. So I literally was like, hey, can you take a picture of me in front of your house? That's how I got this random picture in front of this girl. It's kind of funny and a little bit. But everybody I knew had bars on their window in the neighborhood, and we really didn't cross 8 Mile because it was super racist, and you didn't cross 8 Mile unless you had to. You didn't want to get pulled over, even if you wasn't doing nothing. So you kind of just stayed south of 8 Mile, and all your friends had houses with bars on the window. I remember when I went out to Canton, I was like, they got a house with no bar. I thought that was only the houses in California, on TV on Beverly Hills 90210. All right. But that was the first time that I started to dream. And one of the sayings I came up from with that was like, I want a what do they do house someday. And I coined that phrase as that's the house that you drive up to. And when you walking up to the doorbell, you like, what do they do? Right. So I was like, man, what do your parents do? I was like, I want a house like this. So that's where I got that from, where I was like, man, one day I'm gonna get me a what do they do house. And I remember she was like, her parents were engineers at Ford. I talk about this in the book in more detail, but her parents were engineers. And I was like, I'm switching my major. I'm going to school for engineering. Like, I guess I'm going to be an engineer because that's how we decided by where we thought the money was at, which is funny. But that was the first time in a long time I started dreaming. I started saying, you know what? Maybe one day I can have a big house. Maybe one day I can have one without bars on the window. I don't know if y'all saw that house, y'all. It's made out of brick. Where my house was made out of like vinyl and like wood. We always felt like if you blew too hard, our house was like the one in like the three little pigs. Like we felt like the wolf could come and just blow ours down. So I'm like, they got a brick house. Like a little tornado, a little rain could come through and they still gonna be standing. Ours, we like, I think the roof leaking, but we managed to do okay. But that's where I started to dream and I realized, man, you could either dream or die. Because in those moments is when I started to say, I want something better. I want something more for my life. And if you think about the prisons, you think about people who commit crimes, a lot of people stop dreaming, and that's when they start dying. I think there's a lot of grown-ups walking around right now dead. Like, yeah, they get up, they go to work, they are literally alive talking to you, but they are dead inside. They stopped dreaming a long time ago. A long time ago, they just gave up on life. It's gonna always be like this. I'm always be in debt. I'm always have I remember people would say stuff like, "Oh, I'm always have student loan debt." I'm like, "Why?" I heard some people say, "I'm always have a mortgage. I'm always have a car note." Why? Why would you why? I mean, you might as well just die. You just stop dreaming instead of saying, I don't know. One day I might pay this bad boy off." Like, what happened? Like we just stop dreaming at some point. I say the craziest stuff. I'd be like, yeah, I might get a helicopter. Like, I don't know. But hey, it'll be a hell of a time trying to buy one. I just think different because I don't want to die. I realize the moment you don't want anything, and it doesn't always have to be financial. I was just talking to a friend today. I was like, man, I want to cut another big check to something like a donation. I want to sponsor the boys and girls. I don't know, but I'm like, I'm feeling called. Like I'm ready to cut another big check towards something that's bigger than me buying another Rolex watch or something like that. Because I'm like, I'm dreaming again. I'm dreaming differently because I don't want to die. I don't want to be alive and dead. And a lot of people are they alive, but they dead, right? So I want you to. This is gonna be part of your homework, by the way. I want you to think about the vision that you want for your life, because the stock market can help you get there, but if you don't want nothing, you might as well just log off right now. I mean, if you don't want nothing, why are you here? You know, you just thought I'd be cool to hear to talk today over the next 3 days. If you don't want nothing, you in the wrong place. I'm talking to the people who want something. I'm talking about something for their family. They want better health, but they can't afford it. Maybe you can afford, you got good health, but your mama need treatment, the best doctors. You got to want something. You want a better community. You want a better car, better home, you want a dream vacation, better lifestyle. I don't know what it is. These aren't the only categories that you can dream in, but I just wanted to jumpstart your mind to start thinking like, what do you want out of life? I'll share with you my vision board. If you've been on my live seminar, I know some of you, this might be a repeat, but it's some people on here who don't know me. So we got to bring them up to speed. They ain't read the book. This was one of the vision boards that I wrote out long time ago. I was like, I want to make $10 million. Guys, I'm gonna just give you a pro tip. If you could put a number down, make it a ridiculous one. That was ridiculous to me. I'm like, 10 million? That's damn sure a dream for me. I think at the time, I don't even know what I s no, I was probably making $40,000. I don't know. It wasn't close to a million, it wasn't close to six figures, right? But if you go put a number down, why not make it a ridiculous? Now, you know, I mean, what's the point of dreaming if you ain't gonna be like, that would be a stretch. 10 million would be a stretch at that time. So I'm like, 10 million, let's go. I didn't just want one home. I was like, I want three. One in Michigan, one in another country. And I really like California, but they politics a little whack. I wasn't into politics back then and state taxes. I like California. So I wanted one in San Diego. I was like, I want a Bentley, a Ferrari, and I want an everyday car as an Impala. Some of this stuff is wild. I was like, I want to do live seminars. God is my witness. What we doing tonight? A live seminar. That's crazy. I was like, I want to be a millionaire. By the time I'm 40, I did hit that goal. But over here too, it's not all about money. I was like, I want to be happy. But most people never define what happy is. So I want to be healthy physically, mentally, spiritually. All right. I know a lot of rich people and they kids won't talk to them. I know some rich people and they health ain't the best. right? I know some rich people, but you like, I don't want you talking to my kids or pouring into them because you spiritually off, right? I mean, making money, you don't have to be a good person to make money. I mean, bad people make money too. But if I'm gonna make it, I'd rather choose this to be my version of happy. All right. So I want you to create a vision board. I know it's this the time of year, depending on when you're watching this, unless you're watching the replay. This is the time of year where people say, create a vision board. And I'm gonna tell you, like I said in the beginning, we gotta break our old thoughts, our old habits. A lot of us wasn't taught to create a vision. A lot of us wasn't taught to do mind maps, brainstorm, and put this stuff on paper. If you ever saw the movie The Secret, I think they talk about there. I don't know how to explain it. Something just happened when you put it out there in the atmosphere. Something just happens when you put pen to paper and say, yeah, I do want 10 million. I don't know if I'll get there. That's a whole nother conversation, but I do want it. I do want 3 houses, 3 cars. I want to donate to churches, charities. Something unique happens just by seeing it. It sound good, don't it? Like, try this out. I want you to just try this out. Go self. I just want to be average, live a mediocre life, live in a subpar house, never have enough to donate to causes that I believe in. Then just go, I want to live in a multi-million-dollar house. I want to donate to church, charity, boys and girls club, women, cancer research. I want to drive the best cars. Don't it just feel good? Like nobody just goes like, I just want to get by every day. This is like, who wants to do that? Right. Oh my God. Boring. Nobody want to do that. So dream, put this stuff down on a piece of paper. All right. Now, God is my witness. I hope I can say that. I hope that's okay to say that. But God is my witness. I can't believe I actually got some of the stuff I put down on the paper. I'm not kidding. Literally, the house on the lake. Ridiculous. This is my mother and this is my brother right here. I'm telling you, this picture just warms my heart. If you saw that house I showed you a snippet of the house we came from. To me, this picture says my mom like, damn, that's my son? It's like, you okay, son, you did that. I'm talking single mother. My dad passed when I was younger, or he would have been here too. But I just know mom's is like, boy, like, wow, look at my son. She might not have been thinking that. I don't know, but that's my interpretation of this picture when I see it. I actually went back to school and got my degree. If you know, I dropped out of school, then I went back, got my degree. But here's the thing, y'all got to feel me on this. I get excited about this. Y'all got to feel me on this. What did I say I wanted on here? Ferrari or a Lambo. I cannot make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. What did I end up getting? You gotta be kidding me. A Ferrari, and I put I invest on the license plates. It was the most ridiculous moment in my life next to getting the house and paying the house off. I was just like, I had to go back to my own paper. Now I want to be clear. I did not, some people be like, you got to put it up and look at it every day. I think I created it. I used it to put coffee on top of it, and then I just threw it in the closet or something, but I don't know how to explain it. Something about writing this stuff down, it actually came true. Now, full disclosure, I put in the work. I didn't just manifest it because I know some people like, I just manifest it. Some people just, the Lord go bless me. I'm a Christian. I believe in the Lord blessing people, but they also say faith without works is dead. You actually have to actively participate in your own rescue. But I'm telling you something about whether you talking to God or you're talking to the universe saying, this is what I want. Open up a door, show me. And if you do, I will work hard and go after it. Crazy enough, I mean, sometimes I just like telling my own story just because I like to hear it again. I'm blowing my own mind. Then we sold the Ferrari, bought the Rolls-Royce. And to me, okay, I got to tell y'all a story about this Rolls-Royce I bought real quick. So you can see my kids in it, Hermes edition with the orange seat, convertible top. I even put the car seats in the back. I'm telling y'all, because listen, I got a quick story. especially for my men who are on this webinar. My women, I love y'all, but this one for the men. I cannot tell you how many people said, when you have kids, life is over. You'll never get that sports car. You might as well go get a minivan. Ha ha ha. I'm telling you, everywhere you look, somebody trying to beat down your dreams and get you to buy into their reality. I never forget when I bought the Rolls Royce, my boy, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was like, dude, how'd you get that? And like, your wife let you get that? And then he was like, I can't get one of those. Like, we got kids. And when he saw me buy that, I'm like, what that mean? Like, we still got the little four-seater minivan car too, and then I got a daily car. I promise you, I ain't gonna say his name. Y'all might seen us riding together. Maybe about a month or two later, he buys a Lamborghini. I kid you not. I kid you not. But about a month or two later, he buys a Lamborghini. What that told me was the same thing that the guy said. What, you trying to be rich? And I almost backed down. By shining your light too, you give other people permission to shine their light. He always had the money, but he just felt like, I can't do it. Society says I can't have this, and my wife won't let me. And I'm like, what that got to do with anything, right? And so he ended up buying a Lamborghini, and we got some pictures cruising around together. But it's just, I'm just trying to tell you, like, when you shine your light, when you go after your dreams, you just don't know who watching you that you give permission to go after their dreams and goal as well. And for me, I'm I'm gonna be real. Because of where I come from, making money, losing money. I remember when I bought the Ferrari, I was like, I don't know if I should have did that. That was probably stupid. Isn't this how people lose their money buying these cars? They go broke, blah, 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 blah. And then I bought the Rolls-Royce as a statement to myself. And I said, Jay, you're not going back. You ever like, it's hard to get used to this being the new lifestyle. And I said, we go do it again and show it wasn't a mistake and show we can live like this and we can live like this for a long time. And so we bought the Rolls-Royce because to me, it wasn't about the car, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't about the car. It's not. It's not. It's still not about the car. It was the signal I needed to send to my brain waves to say, we not broke no more. Even though I had made a ton of money, I still felt broke because I grew up broke. Bars on the window, $2,500 color Supreme that always needed something fixed on it that I probably could have got a car note because I always was fixing something on it. But like when you grow up majority of your life like that, when you start getting money, that negative thinking starts to come back in. Oh, you gonna lose it all. You shouldn't have bought that. You can't afford that. Why would you do that? That's for rich people. I'm like, well, I'm rich people then. I'm no, it's like y'all ever see the movie Inside Out? Like I'm battling with my own brain. Like I'm not, we not poor no more. I'm not listening to you. It's like a daily fight. Anybody with me? Am I crazy? I'm not crazy. I'm a little crazy. But let me know. Are y'all with me? Cause it's like a daily fight never to go back to being poor. Sometimes I have a bad stock trade and I'm like, I'm gonna lose it all. And I'm like, chill out, man. It ain't that bad. All right. Lynn says your Carmen says, okay, y'all with me, y'all my peoples, man. I need a little reinforcement sometimes because I be going off on a tangent in my head. I'm just sharing with somebody need to hear this. You get a little money, you think you're okay, but it's really the mindset you still got to break. That's why the book 5 Year Millionaire I always say it's not about $1 million. It's about even if I'm flat broke, I'm a millionaire because of how I think and because how I consistently try to separate myself from the old Jason Brown who think there's not enough in the world. I'm gonna lose it all. I'm not smart enough because those thoughts, even for me, and be real, they creep back in sometimes. Even now, even before this session tonight, just being real, I was just like, are people gonna show up? Do I have anything to say? Do I got enough to teach them tonight? Do I got enough to teach? Like, out of all the stuff I done did, I still be like, I don't know. Like, can I? Can I help people? It's weird. All right. This picture, super special to me. So this was a picture of my mom before she passed, which I'm gonna get through this. I'm not gonna cry. But she got a chance to sit in the Rolls Royce. Literally, I did a video about it on my YouTube channel. My mom passed, I think, couple days later, after this, she came up to watch the grandkids for a big trip we went on. It was her 70th birthday. Ironically, this is kind of, it's not funny, but this bag, you probably can't see it. It says Cape of Good Hope. For the first time in my life, I went to Cape Town, South Africa. And my mom, bless her heart, my mom is big into African clothing and culture. My mom wear like the big dashikis and stuff. I literally bought her the most beautiful African dress, and brought it back from authentic Africa. And so we gave it to her for her birthday, and then she passed away. We actually buried her in the dress. Um, so what am I trying to tell you is that sometimes we think we got all this time. Like, oh, I'm gonna do it next year. I'm gonna get started in 5 years. Like, somebody's counting on you to get it done this year. Somebody's counting on you to start today. I don't know if it's your husband, wife, parents, but we mistakenly think we have all this time. We mistakenly think we can just wake up and procrastinate and we'll figure it out later. And like, yes, you can figure it out later, right? But like, somebody's counting on you figuring it out today, this year. And I don't know. I feel like my mom was like, my son gonna be okay. I can go now, right? Like, I don't know. It probably would have broke me if she passed and I was struggling, still borrowing money from her or something, like, ugh. But it's like, who's counting on you? So I want you thinking about this. Somebody is counting on you. It might even be somebody you don't even know. Like, it could be your coworker in the cube. Like, if you get out of here, I know it's hope for me. It could be your neighbor when they finally see that moving truck pull up, like, where y'all going? You're like, we just bought our dream house. They like, I better get busy. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's your church. Your church need a new parking lot. They trying to build some wells or some water drills somewhere in Africa. And they like, we need some big donations to come through. Maybe they never recovered from COVID. And you, man, you like the one that's like, don't worry, Pastor. How much y'all need? I got it. I don't know, but somebody is counting on you. And we don't have as much time as we thought. That's the message I just want to send you. All right. So as we get ready to wrap this up, right? Day one is all about mindset. Some of y'all, maybe you already trading, but you just forgot what this thing is really about. It's not about X's and O's and numbers on a sheet of paper. It's about people. It's about changing your life. It's about making money so you can leave an impact on this world long after you're gone, right? It's about dreaming again. But I ain't here to get you hype because I'm gonna tell you, it ain't gonna come without some sacrifice. So what are you willing to sacrifice or give up? Because I hear it all the time. You right, Jay Brown. This is my year. I want to be rich. I want to get in the stock market. I want to invest. And then right after that come the but. Okay. Right after that come the buts. And I ain't talking about Sir Mix-a-Lot, but come the buts. But I'm a father, but I'm a mother, but I don't make enough at work, but I don't have any time. Here come all the buts. What's Sir Mix-a-Lot say? I like big butts and I cannot lie. But these ain't the butts that he was talking about, right? These aren't the butts that he's talking about, but these are the excuses that start to come in. And ladies and gentlemen, there's no success without sacrifice. I'm telling you, if I can make it out of $8 an hour, selling phones at Sprint, bars on the window, dope in the neighborhood, gangs, I mean, you name it. Everything was stacked against me. I'm like, if I figured it out, like, come on. Like, we got to get rid of the butts. Now, I had some of the butts that you have. I'm not that much different from you, but I can tell you, I ain't had no time because I was going to school, I was working. So what I would do, anybody from Verizon know me, they always say, like, you used to always be in the back on your lunch break looking at stocks. I would pack a lunch because I couldn't lose time going to drive to Panera Bread or McDonald's and stand in line, then drive back. You've been lost your whole 45 minute to an hour lunch. So I would bring my lunch. and I would be in the back on my laptop looking at stocks. So now when people say, I knew if anybody was going to do it, I realize they not really gassing me up. Some people was like, you was a little different, you know, you was going to buy those books on your lunch break. You was on your lunch break looking at stocks. And I look back, I'm like, I guess I was a little different. I was always different or awkward, in life or according to society. But I had to make those sacrifices. I was like, well, when else am I going to learn? Then here's the other thing I used to do. This was way before they had like MP3 players in the car. I had I had like a had went to like a seminar and they gave us these free disc, like little stock market like introduction. I remember it was like 3 hours long or something like that. Three discs, something like that. I remember I put the disc in my laptop and then I set my laptop on the seat and I would listen to it while I was driving. So I turned the radio off and we didn't have, you couldn't Bluetooth it and all that. I just was sitting on my seat and I was just listening to it while I was driving. And I was like, oh, he said, okay, I'm gonna look that up when I get home. I just, it was just like I had to do whatever I had to do. So I want you to ask yourself, like, what are you willing to sacrifice? Another thing I had to sacrifice, I didn't really have no money. So here's what I did. I was the best cell phone person on the planet, not because I loved cell phones, because I realized if I sold more phones, I would make more commission. And I made more commission. I was like, I could finally get into the stock market thing I keep hearing about. And so I would take my commissions from my phone sale. I would live off the hourly and I would take my commissions from phone sales and use it to get back into the stock market. So you got to look at your life. If you married, got kids, don't make enough at work, like, got it, got it, got it. Everybody has something stacked against them. But that's what makes us crazy. That's what makes it fun. Can you imagine saying, guess what? I'm broke. I'm in debt. I got kids. They don't pay me enough at work. And I am going to trade. I love it. To me, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, cause I'm like, okay, cause that person got some fire in them. They got something to prove. They like, okay. I'm like, if you really look back, I'm like, I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, I had a chip. I'm like, I'm black. We broke. Bars on the window. Don't nobody know how to do this. Everybody like, just go get a job at GM Ford or Chrysler. All the overtime you could work. And I just had a chip on my shoulder. I was just like, nah, man, that's not me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't hoop. I can't sing. I can't rap. But I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. So I just want you to think as we start to wrap up, what are you willing to sacrifice and give up? Because every day we wake up, this picture says it all. We can go, it's like the matrix, red pill, blue pill, left or right, good choice, bad choice. Whether that's I got to get up an hour earlier and lose a little bit of sleep. I got to stay up an hour later. I got to turn off Netflix. Every day we got a choice. One of the choices I made, if you follow me or if you don't follow me, I'm gonna tell you this one was a tough one for me. Well, it was easy for me. It's tough for some people. But if you know me, if you don't, you'll learn I don't buy Christmas gifts. I don't. I don't get into Christmas shopping. Haven't done it since I was 18 because I saw my mother go into debt every year around Christmas and then spend all the way to June paying it off and then started it right back up again in 3 months. And I'm like, how come we ain't investing? Because we buying everybody gifts and then we spend the rest of the year paying it off. To this day, I don't buy Christmas gifts. People be like, how'd you get out of that? I'm like, I never got into it. That's how, like, I, I did the podcast episode about it. You better tell your family I'm doing something different with the money this year. We doing something different as a family. We go invest. We all giving ourselves a gift, our first stock, our first trading account. But I've always been different. I just like, I'm not participating in this foolishness. I love the Lord like everybody else. Ain't got nothing to do with me going out buying no gifts. We can all go to church Sunday. Y'all want to do that? Don't nobody want to do that, but everybody want to know why I ain't buying the gift. So, I mean, when you really think about it, people crazy, right? Half the people don't believe in God, but they believe in the shopping part. The other half believe in the shopping part, but if you invite them to church, they not coming. But look, we ain't going there. We ain't going there tonight. All I'm saying, I'm just sharing with you some of the sacrifices that I made. Choices. I'm going back. I'm just sharing with you some of the sacrifices that I made. All right. So as we get ready to wrap this up, I'm open it up if there's any comments, questions at the end of the night, but I'm open this up. Your homework. So get ready. If you got questions, if you're on Zoom, Michaela, will we bring them up on Zoom and unmute them? Probably, I'm guessing. Yeah? Okay. If you are watching on YouTube or inside the university, you can't ask a question live, but you can type it in the box and we'll bring it up. But your homework, I want to make sure you get your homework before we wrap up. Then we'll open up for questions, comments, how this session impacted you. Number one, I want you to think about your goals. What's your first goal? Is it just to make $100? Is it just to open your account? Is it just to not feel overwhelmed? Just make a goal. It could be small. Second, I want you to think about what are you tired of? Maybe you're just tired of like, I'm tired of feeling stupid every time somebody talk about the stock market. What are you just absolutely tired of? I want you to create a vision board. Now, here's the thing, guys. Don't go out and buy a bunch of magazines and be like, I got to get some glue and glue it on the big whiteboard. Just go get a white piece of paper and flip it over and just write out a couple pieces of vision for your life, right? Because if it's complicated, you won't do it. That's one thing I know about life. If I tell you, go get a big whiteboard from the Dollar Tree, and then you're gonna be like, I can't draw that good. And let me see if my cousin can come over and sketch it out for me. Just get a white piece of paper, draw some stick figures, just create a vision for your life. Then I want you to think about somebody inside or outside your family in your community. Who's counting on you? Somebody is counting on you. I know they are. Somebody counting on all of us. It's tough times out here in the world. It's tough times in the economy. Somebody counting on you to get rich. Somebody counting on you to help put their kids through school. I don't know. Somebody go get sick next year, and it's gonna have to be a check cut to get the best treatment. Somebody is counting on you. And then we got a video about how to open your trading account, but you can open your trading account anytime. I want to make sure you get these done right here. You can open the trading account later. Make sure you get one, two, three, number four done, please. Michaela, let's open it up and bring the comments up. Talk to me, my people.
So DeAndre asked, what's the best platform to open a paper trading account to practice? So that link there will go to Jason's YouTube video.
Yeah,
Mm.
we recommend Charles Schwab. So there's a link to the video to open up an account on Charles Schwab. Because here's the thing, because you can paper trade on that. So I'll walk you through the questions they go ask you, everything on this video. So if you like, what are they gonna ask me? How do I answer it? I'll walk you through. And then we have an affiliate link, I think, on that video in the summary. If you click that, open it up, I think you get 400 bucks. If you open a fund account, we get 400 bucks or some free trades. I don't know. What's important is that you open your account. That video will walk you through how it all works.
Excellent. It's not seeing too many questions come in. Someone on YouTube actually asked where to purchase your book. So I'm just typing in the link here. It's very important.
Everywhere books are sold. Everywhere
Yeah.
books are sold. Amazon, Walmart, Barnes& and Noble, everywhere books are sold. But yeah, Michaela, you could type in, I think, thebrownreport.com/book will give you all the different ways. You can also order direct through us, but everywhere books are sold. And even if you
That's
don't have a question, well, tomorrow I want to recap how what was your takeaway from the day? So if you got a takeaway tonight that's like, man, I really resonated with that, feel free to unmute yourself or say ready. And Michaela can either read your question, unmute you if you're on Zoom. Otherwise, tomorrow we always kick it off with a recap as well.
Yes, absolutely. Irene asks, is it easy to get a trading account if you already have a Schwab account? Yes, watch that tutorial and you'll see how Jason walks you through it. And
Yes.
then Car
And I have a retirement account. I have a IRA. I have a trading account. Like I got multiple accounts. I don't have one account with Schwab, but I also have multiple accounts with multiple carriers for different reasons as well. But you can have more than one account. And then you just click the drop down depending on which one you want to invest in or trade in or long-term retirement out of. You can have multiple accounts.
absolutely. And next, Carmen raised her hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you, Carmen.
And she's on camera. It'll bring her up.
Hey, Carmen, so I should ask if you want to be unmuted and just hit OK.
That's Michaela, everybody. If I did,
So I wanted to give my takeaway. Um, First off, I thought it was really powerful. The very first thing you mentioned over with Harriet Tubman about freeing the slaves and how she could have freed thousands more if they only knew they were slaves. So that was mind blowing. And then um, the other one I loved that you mentioned about dreaming, making sure you have a dream, just a dream, because you're like you if you don't have a dream,
how can it come true?
exactly. So like just the things you said definitely resonated, and even just like right in this moment, like I'm in that same place you were as a young man, but I'm 48. Not I just turned 49 on the 14th of January. But something's got, like you said, you gotta get tired. I keep doing this. And something's gotta change. And I love the thing where you wanted us to do it as a family. I would love to. It's hard to convince my kids because they're so smart. Um, but I would love to do that trading thing you said, instead of doing the gifts, to do the as a family. I think that was phenomenal. Okay, so that's all.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much
Thank
for
you.
all your knowledge.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, that part is so true, right? And sometimes you got to be the one to take the family in a different direction. I remember when I was in network marketing, I think Steve Carter was my upline RVP. And I remember he said, sometimes you got to do something right now that the family won't you have to do things right now that the family won't understand now, but they will thank you for it later. And I never forget when he said that. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's right. But it's like the family might not understand. They might not even be happy about it because they've been programmed. Right, where's my gift? Where's my toy? Where's this? We haven't been programmed to be like, man, if we do this and this work, we'll never have to wait 364 days again for a gift again. We just go to the store, buy what we want. It's another thing. We kind of have everything we want. So it's kind of, it's like, what do you want for Christmas? Like, I don't know. I'm good. Like, I want some home cooked food. That's what I want. Or I want like a good game night. I want some stuff that don't really cost a lot of money. But yeah, sometimes you got to do something that the family won't understand right now, but they'll thank you for later. And I know a lot of people got a lot of deep traditions and conditioning from society around going in debt and getting gifts, but you can still give gifts. They just ain't gotta cost that much, you know? You can get a gift of love, a gift of food. Tell somebody, "I'm giving out hugs this year, baby, unlimited." What you hey, I even deliver them. Okay, I'm tripping. Alright, Michaela, anything else before we get ready to get out of here?
Not that I see so far.
Awesome.
Irene offers tutorials. So Irene, I'll post that link again for you. There you go. And the replay will be posted on YouTube. We'll comment below that link as well to the tutorial, and make sure you have everything. And then we'll also, for those of you inside the platform Power Change University, you'll get the replay, the homework posted, and you guys can all talk about it tomorrow as well.
That's right. If you're not registered inside Power Trades University, it's free to register. So go register in there, which is where we're managing the conversation, the homework, the PDF that you can download to take notes. Just go to powertradesuniversity.com. It'll say challenge at the top. Just click the challenge button. You just enter your email, create a password, and you'll get access to the back end of Power Trades University because that's where the party is happening at. All right. I will see you guys for day 2, where we're going to break down how to pick a stock, when to buy, when to sell, how to determine the investment. So stay tuned for that. Day 3, We jumping into options and the 5-year millionaire blueprint. So please show up, show out, and let's have this new year be a new you for real this time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.